Hey, what's up? Good morning. Very nice morning here. It's kind of just now starting to, I don't know, to break up a little bit. It's about 9:15 on a Wednesday morning. No, wait, it's Thursday morning. Yeah, it's 9:15 on a Thursday morning. It's been 3 to 4 feet. I went surfing about 2 hours ago, and it was about the same as it is now, maybe a little bit bigger. It was like 3 to 4 feet and no white water. All of this just showed up within the last like half hour. Otherwise it was just clean lines with very little white water. And all these guys that are out right now just have been out for about an hour. I mean, it got crowded. It was more crowded when I left, but then I got coffee and I came back, and there's probably 10 guys out here. Surfing. Very nice surfing morning in San Francisco. In the distance, at the top of the hill there, to the right of that water tower, if you can see it, I'm not sure what you see, but that is the San Francisco VA hospital. That's the VA hospital. This guy has an American Eagle kite that he's flying. Or is it a bat? I thought it was an American Eagle. I thought it was a bald eagle. And then straight ahead of us, about a mile and a half down the beach, or up the beach, excuse me, that square white building is the famous Cliff House of San Francisco. And then we're looking at Ocean Beach in San Francisco. The mountains in the background you see, that is the Marin Headlands and Mount Tamalpais, Marin County Mountains. A lot of the wood on our beach probably comes from over there. All right, come on. So here's what this morning, I didn't even turn this on to do like a surfing video or surfing check. I turned it on because I wanted to talk about this movie that I watched last night. That's what you're here for. You looked at the title of the video. We're going to do a review of the Homesman from 2014, directed by Tommy Lee Jones, starring Tommy Lee Jones and Hilary Swank. I watched it last night, so it's fresh in my mind. This movie came out in 2014. It's called The Homesman. It's a Western thriller, is how it's described. Movie takes place in, I would guess, the early 1870s, right? In the prairie. This is a film about mental illness on the prairie. Came out in 2014. I enjoyed this movie. The things that I liked about this movie are this movie doesn't have real high reviews, like on IMDb or something. And the reason why I think people don't like this movie is because it subverts your expectations. All right, 2014. It's like the 5th time I've mentioned when the movie came out, but that's an important part of the review, because this movie, if it had came out just 2 years after, would have been completely different, or wouldn't even have been made. I mean, it would have been. Who knows? I mean, that's probably why, even in 2014, the political ramifications of the film are probably the reason why it doesn't have favorable reviews. Because it's a fine movie. It's really well acted and written. The cinematography and directing is okay, but it's Tommy Lee Jones. There's a couple things that aren't great about it. I mean, he's an actor, a very experienced actor, obviously, but he's very good in this film. But who's really good in the movie, and who is the main character of this film, or the protagonist, is Hilary Swank. She plays this character, what's her name? Mary B. Biddy or something? Anyway, this is a young woman, a single 31-year-old young woman from New York who somehow is in the prairie on her own, and she seems to have a source of income that has set her up with a very nice homestead in the prairie, like maybe Nebraska. I'm not quite sure where it's supposed to be. 1870s Nebraska. And she's doing quite well. The main storyline is this girl, Mary B. There's some sort of local upheaval that involves mental illness, and there's three young women, well, two young women and one like kind of maybe middle-aged woman. Anyway, there's these three women that are prairie wives that have all had mental breakdowns of some sort. They're all mentally ill, varying degrees, but this is three mentally ill women who are stuck in the prairie, in this small settlement, a small town, and the townspeople, they hold a meeting and they decide that they need to get these women back east and return them home. That's why it's called the Homesman. Maybe this used to be the job of a person who did this sort of thing. I don't know. I haven't researched it. At any rate, they draw lots, and this young woman, portrayed by Hilary Swank, she volunteers to take these three women through the prairie on like a 5-week trip in a wagon, and she's going to do it by herself, right? And nobody else wants to do it, including the husbands of the women themselves. So this woman takes these three women. So now we've got a story about a strong woman and three mentally ill women. Now they do have illness, but you could still, perceive that as weakness. The people that are requiring to be sent home are three adult women. So this other adult woman, who appears capable to us through narration and scene, she volunteers heroically. During the initial portion of her trip, she discovers a older gentleman portrayed by Tommy Lee Jones, like a 70-year-old gentleman portrayed by Tommy Lee Jones, who is a claim jumper, and he has been left to die in a hanging noose on horseback. She rolls up on this guy. She makes him swear an oath to do what she says if she will save his life, to follow her rules, and she has a job for him and a mission that he needs to undertake. So he agrees, being humbled by his near-death experience. The two of them become a team. And then, you've got the road picture started. There's ups, there's downs, not a lot of ups. I'm not going to give away any spoilers. I'm just going to say that the movie subverts expectations and goes in directions that you wouldn't have expected it to go. Where the main character, who was portrayed heroically in the first 75% of the film, she was greatly flawed. These flaws are really interesting, because these flaws that were portrayed in this story, in this film in 2014, we would be hard pressed to find a depiction of a woman in an American film that was in the way that this film depicted it. Not a new movie, like I said, for the sixth time, 2014. It's interesting. I do a lot of, when I watch movies, I'm drawn to things that will cause me to think in different ways. Like I watch a lot of I watch oppositional research. I watch films that are counter-produced and not meant to trap me in their demographics, like a film with Hilary Swank and Tommy Lee Jones. It's not necessarily produced for me. I'm not a person who's going to buy a ticket to that movie. Obviously, I didn't for the 7th time. It came out in 2014. I'm just now seeing it. So I didn't pay any money, to see this. I'm not in the demographic. So let's talk about what the heck they're doing here with this film. What was Tommy Lee Jones doing? Well, he made a movie about female empowerment. It's a strong female lead. She's really capable and she's likable. But the film sets us up in a way. Now, I only watched it just that one time last night, but I have a feeling that if I watched it again, I might notice things, as we all do upon second watchings, that stick out to me. Those things that might stick out to me would be signs of showing the flaws of Hilary Swank's character, Mary B., who you really love. I mean, you really like this young lady, and you feel empathy and sympathy towards her in her situation. Because she's got... so before the mission even starts, if you paid attention when you watch this movie, you might notice things that she does or says that should have been red flags to the viewer of the film. They were red flags to other characters in the movie. That's an interesting thing. So this movie is many faceted. So it's a movie about a strong female character who ends up not being as strong as she professed or as she even demonstrated in the past. She demonstrated through the film an ability to be a resilient pioneer on her own, yet it's very important to know that she was doing all of this on her own on the prairie. What is it? Inconsolently? She wasn't happy doing it. I mean, she was happy doing it, but she wanted to be married. She wanted a man. That's a chief part of the film. I forgot to mention that. Is that she's what is it? What's the word? Is it dowager, old maid? Even though she's only 31, in 1871, if you're unmarried at 31, I guess is getting close to an old maid. You know, that's why she is willing to. She doesn't necessarily have the highest of standards, I guess is what you could say. I don't even know what. I'm not sure. Anyway, the movie. It wouldn't be made and promoted by Hollywood in 2024, but it was in 2014. Tommy Lee Jones is excellent in the film. He's really good. When what happens, when the twist occurs, it happens so well. He does such a good job of directing it because you don't want that twist to happen. You weren't even expecting or even imagining that twist could have happened. But then when it does happen, you start piecing it together. Very well done, man. By Tommy Lee Jones. Anyway, I recommend it. Check out the Homesman from 2014. Just like we checked out these waves, it's really good over here at T Street. Should have come out here this morning. Look at that. I mean, it was about the same as it was down there, but it's just looks clean right now. All right, have a good day, you guys. I'll talk to you later.